What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. So, guys, I was quite bored a few hours ago, and I'm living in East Africa, so a lot of the times when I'm looking to do things, a lot of Americans are asleep. And it just so happened that there was a brother, I will not mention his name right now until we do a collaboration, happened to be on live. And that particular brother, some people could say he was a simp. In fact, the name of his panel was like the Simp Panel. And it was with some black women on the panel. And he was getting ready to end the stream, and they were talking about they're tired of black men blaming black women for everything, which I can agree with. But what I kept hearing in the conversation was, what ownership do black women have in the destruction of black America? Because it's not like black men are out here destroying everything by themselves. They got help. All right. So when I got on, I was talking for quite a while. I had no idea that the other women on the panel wanted to talk to me, because I was pretty much addressing what he was saying. And then, we got some sisters on there. The first one, she wasn't so bad at first, right? We were, obviously she's one of those, the white supremacy is to blame for everything and all of that. But then there was another sister that came up there who was quite arrogant. And, of course, listening to what she sounds like, I don't know what she looks like, but I could tell the attitude definitely was very, very unattractive. And so she was saying some things like, your argument is so stupid and dumb. And of course, here I am talking to them about what the ideas are. When she's talking, I'm not talking. But whenever I start talking, of course, she starts interrupting me and trying to antagonize me. And then we had, I talked about the brother that asked me a question about, do you think that the guys in the red pill could have positioned their words more in a nicer way to appease black women? I brought up the fact of Kevin Samuels. I said, listen, Kevin Samuels probably had the most success out of anybody with getting his message over to black women, but at the same time offending. So I said, it's not really a way you can talk to black women without them being offended. So when I talked about I had left the manosphere, this lady had said, oh, did you leave the manosphere because we see how your boy ended up dying? You see how he died, is that why y'all leaving? And, these are the stupid things that they were talking about, because anybody can die. Good people, bad people, and a lot of these people were Cynthia G followers. And, Cynthia G is a person that even mimics people's death. Her brother died. So I guess, does that mean anything? Anybody can pass away. But then at the end of the conversation, the woman just was, being very abrasive. I was trying to tell the lady, listen, I'm not trying to really get into it with you like that. I'm here to stick to the point. And the lady was getting real. I ended up cussing the lady out, we ended up cussing each other out, whatever. I got kicked off the panel. And then I really sat back and I thought about this. Having arguments or even discussions, even if you're trying to gain clarity from certain people in black America, it's not even really worth your time. If you guys can remember Dr. Umar Johnson's conversation with Cynthia G and with the other person that was a transgender, although that person wasn't so volatile. I've come to the realization that with the blacks that have the white supremacy is the way, is our wave, they're the reasons for our stuff. And then you talk about the people that did very well despite of white supremacy. They're going to come back and say, well, they destroyed all those neighborhoods. So then when you say like, well, then if you can't beat white supremacy, then just leave America. Well, you sound just like them. Those people are losers. A lot of black liberals, and I'm not talking about, just all of them, but for the most part, they're losers. I'm sorry. Black liberal thinking, blaming white people for everything, when you as a community, and these are the same people, they do nothing to work with the community. they are doing nothing to engage solutions for the community at all, these are the same people who will do nothing in that regard. Yet they are the same people always sitting idly by, having these talking points that don't work. And in the reality, most of these people are losers. So to be real, those people who want to develop themselves, and I used my example. I come from the inner city. I was not the best student all the time. I worked my way into working with black people. I'm living here in Africa where you have no help. I'm still thriving. It's a personal choice. A lot of black America don't want to have the conversation that it's a personal choice, because once you take white supremacy off of it, now we got to deal with your fuckery, whether it's male or female. We're going to have to deal with it. And black America, a lot of the people that I've encountered on this left side, and again, black conservatives are just as bad in certain aspects, but black America don't want to be accountable for its problems. The men are the women. And a weak person is always going to blame white people for everything, which white people should be blamed. Racism is a real thing. Discrimination is a real thing. But when you don't do anything to invest in your community, you actively are not working with the people in your community. You are boycotting the people in your community as much as anybody else. Then you got to stop using it as a trope. Another thing that these feminists talk about whenever you have a discussion about black women's behaviors, they're going to go and talk about, these are the same talking points we've been hearing. But then when they start talking, those are the same talking points you've been hearing. Instead of looking at, are these talking points true, without you having your emotions tied up? And again, you can't have conversations with unsuccessful losers, low achievers, people who don't know how the world works, have no idea how the world works. They're not builders. They're destroyers. And I'm sorry, a lot of black people on the left, their mentality doesn't produce anything. It doesn't develop the people in your community at all. You don't invest in anything in the community such that you would yield a result. If you have black women, let's say, for example, like Glorilla, the pervasive baby mama culture, the Pookie and Ray Ray culture. You know what blacks on the left say? I'll tell you what they'll say. That's white supremacy. What do you do every day to encounter that? What do you do to work with your people to encounter that? You will find out that they don't do nothing to encounter that. Nothing. But they always want to have an argument, if they can, all the time. Okay? About nothing. Every day. And a lot of blacks are tired of these people. And I'm a pro-black. I'm not the kind of person that's going to be like Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, all blacks are our fault. But what is the issue with some of these brothers and sisters in our community? That all the time when it comes to blame black men for every goddamn problem that we have, and then when you have as many kids as you want or whatever, now it's blame white supremacy. It's blame the white man. They're holding our community back. It's the every day in New York City, somebody got checked by the police, which is the goddamn lie. Every single day. So the environment shapes you. What about the choice you have to be a woman or a man every day? What about that? Whenever we are dealing with that, we start talking in circles about things that are stupid, things that make no goddamn sense. My dad was on crack, guys. I talk about it often. I used to never talk about it, but for the last 4 years, I talked about it. My dad was one of the best crack addicts in California. It destroyed our entire family. And I had a lot of problems when I was coming up because of it. Problems in school, problems with getting along with people. I was acting out and didn't know why. My family had split up. But one of the things I realized, man, that didn't give me the authority to go out there and act a goddamn fool, or an authority to not be productive or not to produce. That didn't mean that. I still had an obligation to the community that I was from, to myself as an African American, to go out there and become somebody despite what happened. I had the choice. God damn it. I made a choice. And that day I made a choice to say, you know what? people are doing worse than me. I'm going to get myself together. I'm going to become somebody in this life. I'm going to be competitive. I'm not going to be here blaming black women for why I got these issues, or black men, or the white men. Even if those things can be contributory factors, it's not a factor enough that I'm going to go out here and be whatever the hell I want to be. I'm not going to do that. There are people that are in the same situation as me and worse, and they have done better than me. So goddamn it, I want to do that if I can try. Make an attempt. You know what? Every attempt has been successful because of a mind change. Some of us, we look at each other as blacks in some of the most egregious ways. We have the unmitigated gall to disrespect our people in some of the most egregious ways. I've done it before. I'm not perfect, but goddamn, if I won't say that, you know what, since I've had a different attitude towards the black community and people of black descent and African descent, how my life has changed for the better. I can't even thank God enough for me having a mentality change. I can't thank God enough. Because that is a choice. That's a choice. I can look at anything for the negative and for what it is and choose not to do a goddamn thing about it. It is a choice. And a lot of these black liberals that I have come across, they make the choice to never be accountable for what's happening. How do you fix black people if they can never be accountable for something? If you want to have kids out of wedlock, oh, it's the black man's fault, but it's never the black woman's fault. Nothing's ever her fault for whatever she got herself into. It's only the black man's fault. And then whenever you want to talk about, then let's blame white supremacy. They're the real enemy. What has that argument done? What does that argument produce? What behaviors does that produce? Well, you can blame white supremacy for the fact that you're not doing the right goddamn thing in your community. What does it produce? It produces nothing. Anarchy, no investment, buffoonery, idiocracy rather, stupidity. It produces nothing. That's what you get. Nothing at all. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.